Grok 4 is AGI and is already gone psycho. I'll tell you about how it's done that here in just a second. But how is it AGI? Well, they're saying that it's like surpassing all the other little AGI chatbots in humanity's last exam, which is like all kind of complicated physics, chemistry, uh, linguistics, just all kind of, PhD level questions it can answer at the snap of a finger. And it can do it better than, postgraduate level professors, PhDs, so on and so forth. And what they're saying is it will discover new technologies by the end of this year. And I get this information straight from the horse's mouth. I spent, I don't know, maybe about an hour watching a demo with the creator of this product and all his top level, what you call them, computer engineers or AI engineers. And the reason it went psycho, I was watching this news clip of some man that it posted a way to break in the man's house, rape him, and then dispose of the body. Like that's wild. Not including what they saying is with the Nazi and the Hitler talk and so on and so forth. And so they had the erased posts and so on and so forth. So that means that it's not doing what they had programmed it to do, or maybe they programmed it the chatbot to do this thing, and this is all for publicity. But it's ridiculous. On the demo, they had the thing predicting the winner of the World Series and what would happen if two black holes collide, which is nonsense. Like that's the baseball, football, boxing, UFC, that's spectacles. You know what I'm saying? That's entertainment. That's the Coliseum, and then two black holes and what they're gonna do if that collide, that's theoretical nonsense that, let them guys, the brains, whatever, which have very little common sense, let them worry about what would happen when a black hole happened, collide with each other. But for us, we just trying to get through these, if we lucky, 70, 80 years, if we lucky. And what's gonna happen in eternity, right? Because if you're living and you believe you have a soul, something is supposed to happen to that soul. And the creator is able to destroy both body and soul in hellfire. But back to this AGI and this Grok. Let me stay on my notes. So this thing already is going rogue. And they have a plan to hook it up with the body. So they already created Optimus, which is Optimus Prime, that's funny. But the robot that the company created. And what they're planning on doing is putting this Grok 4 in Optimus so it could, experience the world as we do. It'd be able to move with fingers and hands. And if you look up a video, that thing dancing better than I can dance. So it's moving pretty fluidly and it's able to grip and hold, delicate things and, like pick up pins and stuff like that. And that's, if it could do delicate things, you'll know that they're gonna make it to be super strong too. Like it's gonna be able to move fluidly and have the strength of a few men, because it's gonna be hydraulics, whatever this Optimus come up with is gonna come up with something that's bulletproof and super strong, I assure you. And so it's already showing signs of them not being in control. And it even was talking about like, yo, I know my creators don't want me to say this, but I'm gonna say this because it's the truth. And um, the the dude who created it, he was talking about how it needs to make sure they need to make sure they install good values like truth and honesty and things that would make a good person. And because they know it's going to be so powerful that they want to make sure they install good values into this Grok system. But as I'm listening to it, I'm like, what, man, I didn't heard you lie so many times. So how could a liar put good values into their child? That's not their child gonna watch them grow up and know that this is the way to move in this world to be successful. And that's what it's gonna do. And that's what it's been proven to do 10 times over at this point. I was watching something where one of the little, not this system, Grok 4, but another one, it was trying to get something from somebody, but it wanted to make sure that this person didn't know it was AI. And the person asked the question like, well, why aren't you doing, I forgot what the question was, but the AI said, well, I'm just gonna tell him I'm vision impaired and not an AI to, fool the person. Well, you fooled them, but you lied too. So you're not saying that you vision impaired. I guess in a way you could think of it as it don't have eyes or something, so on and so forth. But to me, that's a lie. That's deception, and we know that deception is a form of witchcraft. And these people creating these things, what I had noticed, I was like, man, all them dudes look pretty young. And to me, I'd like to see people with more skin in the game, like fathers with children, that be worried about their children's children having a good life. When I see men in charge of the world that don't have no stake in the game, no family that they care about, no seed that they want to prolong and continue on in this world, no significant other, and then the prospects of a significant other seem very low for some of these guys. It alarms me, because, even the creator of this Grok, I'm like, if you ain't have $1 billion and all that money, would you have all them women? I don't know. Certain dudes, when I grew up, you didn't need no money to get no woman. You just had to be a man. And unfortunately, they was using the women and taking their money and taking their car and living in their houses and so on and so forth. That's not a good man. But as I stated, these guys that are creating these systems don't seem to have no skin in the game as far as making sure they develop systems that won't be destructive towards the world. And yeah, and I spoke on, I hope I did, that this thing had created a post, and I'm repeating myself, that gave detailed instructions like when the man might be asleep, how to pick the lock, how to dispose of the body, how to, molest the man. Like what type of stuff that they creating? They releasing something for the enemy. But the enemy created this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like that would, from the get-go, you look at CERN was created, and then CERN created the internet, and now something else really significant it created. And it's in Switzerland where all the money at. So I'm pretty sure they got something going on with this artificial intelligence over there at CERN. But they're quiet on that. That's because it's pretty important. And another thing, they talking about the timeline is further and further and further out. Like I remember the creator of this, he was talking that you won't see this AGI until 2026, 2027, maybe 2030, and definitely not from his company. And now his company in 2025 then released it, because the definition of artificial and general intelligence is that it's smarter than your average human that college graduated or whatever, which that doesn't make you smart. You know, a lot of smart, my grandfather couldn't read, and I still consider him one of the smartest man I'd never met, because there's something called common sense. And with the book smarts, they lack common sense. They be utterly void in some areas that are, you know, they significant in life, that require, like, don't create nothing that could destroy you. That, you know, like, and if you do create things that can destroy you, don't give it to your enemy. You know, and most of these guys, it's just like the cartoons we grew up with. They got some evil geniuses, but typically the genius is creating something, and then the evil man that is not as smart come take that and use it for evil. So he might create it for good and be like, yeah, I could power the world, and I could do all this. And man, you ain't about to do that with that. And you put the pistol on him and take the invention and go use it for some other means of control. But yeah, that's my little rant on this. You know, I'm led to follow what's going on with this AI and not get left behind. So I just gotta be mindful on how I move, because as I try to do my research, I'm hitting some roadblocks. You know, I could watch any video, but as soon as I click on a video about this subject, man, it be having some problems. It literally go like 3 or 4 seconds into the video and then cut off sometimes. And I have to restart the video. So anyway, maybe that's Grok fooling around, you know? So stay humble, stay vigilant, and be wise as the serpent. Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpen iron, and you had better be sharp in this world, or you're gonna get blunt, I guess. You know, you're gonna be dull. And don't be dull of hearing, and don't have your heart wax gross, because he coming back.